Y'all, my bad, y'all. I'm in the bank, come back. I'll take care of some shit. I'm ready to get busy. I scheduled this live like 3 hours ago. But we ready to get busy, y'all. So I've been watching online. I seen a couple people, well, I seen the interview. I ain't watched the whole interview with Ynw mother. Ynw Melly, ex-girlfriend mother. And I see what they trying to do to her. And I ain't really see nobody do a good job of breaking this shit down for real. Now, video that's what we gonna do, but before we do that, I wanna show y'all something. I just watched a no jumper interview with Whack 100. And he was talking about NBA YoungBoy and these supposed bodies that he got. Yo, y'all gotta watch this shit. 11 hours ago. I got already watched half of it, but I'm gonna start it over. Listen to this conversation, y'all. This is why I say, yo, we don't need culture vultures speaking on our culture, man. And I ain't even talking about Adam 22 in this particular situation. I'm talking about Trap Lord Ross, y'all. This is why that documentary is dangerous. Because it shapes public opinion. Listen to Adam 22 speak on NBA YoungBoy's situation like he know all about it just by watching this documentary. And mind you, like I said when I did a reaction to Trap Lord Ross documentary, NBA YoungBoy has an open federal case, and I promise y'all, I think that's why he did that documentary, y'all. YoungBoy not gonna beat that case.
You want to leave your 9-to-5 job and have more money working from home. I have an opportunity for you, and the reason why I'm so
Salute the Whack, man. One of the only time I probably ever agree with Whack.
The Adam and Whack show. Definitely not the Whack and Adam show. How you feeling?
Man, I made it another day.
Made it another day.
This shit probably ain't go live on nothing else, man. Ben scheduled this live.
Exhausted. This NBA YoungBoy 6-hour documentary is really taking its toll on my mental health. I feel like I might be actually ready to join 4K Trey. It's a really cool gang. I'm thinking about getting down.
A really cool gang.
What is that?
As far as I understand, NBA YoungBoy started his own blood set out of Baton Rouge called 4K Trey.
Listen to this, y'all.
We don't exactly know what that stands for. They're saying it.
Yo, who said we don't exactly know what that stands for? Nobody's speaking on it. Same thing Trap Lord Ross did. Throwing all these wild accusations out. One of them was, if y'all ain't watched the documentary, one of the reasons was, what did he say? For every body he caught, he got a child named that, like, for every time he posed to catch a body, he have a child. Like, yo, just crazy, wild accusations, yo, that's not even, don't even make sense, y'all. But listen to this man.
Might be 4K
Right,
which is his name, or something along those lines, but either way,
my
they wear
food.
green bandanas.
Well, who told you this?
Well, it's within the 6-hour documentary.
But I'm saying, NBA telling you this?
He didn't tell me. It's in all his music.
It's in all his music.
4K Trey can mean something else, not a game.
No, that's pretty much the gang.
An NBA stamping this?
It's kind of like NBA is the record label side of things, and then the 4K Trey thing is the gang that apparently he invented.
Yo, he's speaking on this like he know exactly what he talking about, y'all. Like, it's this shit, it's amazing.
I think it's pretty cool that you can just invent a set.
Whoever came up here and told you that NBA YoungBoy invented a game.
Nobody had to come here and tell me. It's in the music, and it's in the documentary.
No, listen. You don't know what 4K Trey means.
You're right that I don't know exactly what it means, because apparently they're very protective about the exact meaning.
Okay, so if you don't know
Might not mean
what
anything.
4K Trey means, how are you labeling it a gang? Do you know what a gang is, right?
I mean, if you're fully immersed in the YoungBoy lore, which I think after the 6-hour documentary I really am.
Do you know what a gang is?
Yes.
Define gang.
A group of individuals who come together to commit criminal acts.
No.
Yes.
A gang is
That's a RICO. That's what you just described, a RICO.
group of people that represent the same cause.
Okay.
You just add criminal acts.
So the Boy Scouts are a gang.
The KKK is a gang.
What about a bowling league?
Yeah. It's the bowling league called Gymnasium Bowl. That's a group of people that represent a bowling team named Gymnasium Bowl.
Isn't that kind of a weird example?
No.
Because
You wanna
normally
look at-
bowling leagues aren't held in gymnasiums,
Listen,
right?
I'm just saying.
All right, but it's kind
No,
of,
but I'm
it might be
saying-
confusing to the people at home.
You're saying, how do you know 4K Trey wasn't a movement that was used for the marketing of his music? Why does it have to be a gang?
That almost
that you
certainly
saying
is part of it.
No,
Right.
that's what it is.
Within the songs, he declares that this is his blood set. His mama's slime, his daddy's slime,
Listen to him, yo.
slime, as I'm sure.
His mama's slime, his daddy's like, what is he talking about? Man, it sounds foolish. And he really think he know what he's talking about by watching the 6-hour documentary that young boy, and I'm sure anybody close to young boy had nothing to do with. All off internet and rumors. Hey, babe, I got something to drink.
Blood slang,
I don't know.
but they rock the green bandana. How you like that?
Well, the green bandana has always been associated with Tupac rules,
Really?
right? Yeah. Lime hood,
Thought he invented it.
right?
Lime hood.
Yeah, lime
What
hood.
is that all about?
That's property. That's homies. They homies,
Lime.
right?
Thought it was just a fruit.
Fruit Town power rules, another power rule say.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, for y'all to say NBA YoungBoy created a game. Let's say NBA YoungBoy created a movement. Is Black Wall Street a game?
I think NBA is the move.
You could keep overpaying for commercial auto coverage. Or
Man, I couldn't believe it. I was on the way home looking at this shit. I'm like, man, this man lost his mind.
Wall Street a game.
4K Trey is the game.
NBA is the artist.
No, NBA
And he's
is
standing on it too.
the music label side of
The
things.
game was the artist. Black Wall Street.
Sabrina, what it is?
NBA is the artist. 4K
I got you.
is the movement. It's marketing.
It's the game. It's a criminal gang, in fact.
No, it's not a criminal
And
game.
12 people lost their lives. That's what I've learned from this documentary.
Allegedly.
Got you, shorty.
Allegedly.
They're dead. We just don't know why exactly. But for the most part,
I gotta build me a moderator team.
anybody who has had
I got a
the
couple.
nerve to mention NBA YoungBoy in their music, to attack him on wax, in particular, people from his city, and are dead. Cap. Facts.
Look,
You
y'all.
haven't even seen it.
He's speaking on it like it's a game. Like real people ain't lose their life. And if y'all watched that reaction I did, y'all, a lot of them connections that Trap Lord Ross made was very loose. Very loose connections, man.
You an NBA YoungBoy hater.
No, I'm not. I love him.
Can't love NBA YoungBoy.
His music's
He's not
amazing.
talking like this.
AI YoungBoy too. That's this documentary
Not
caused me to
talking
go
like
listen
this.
to it a couple times. Classic project.
Does NBA YoungBoy support this documentary?
We actually don't know yet.
If you don't know, that means you don't support it.
Well, he most likely doesn't support it.
Okay, then this cap is somebody clout chasing off nephew's name.
So he has to embrace it in order for it to be true.
Can't nobody talk about NBA YoungBoy and his movement and the inner workings of his movement but NBA YoungBoy.
Or people close to him. And Trap Lord Ross did none of that.
This ongoing gang war,
They're dead.
and you can take
So that's why that documentary was so dangerous, y'all, because it reached so many people. You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, how can you, like, how is it even allowed to do something like that? Put out a documentary based off nothing but rumors, a little bit of facts, make these loose connections, and then put it out there like this is really what it is. Wow. Can't forget this. Young boy got Casey fighting.
the lyrics and the social media posts, and you can attempt to create a timeline and match up the social media posts, the lyrics, and the bodies, and you will find a lot of overlap. In particular,
That's your assumption.
let's take the King Von situation. That's a situation that is extremely explicitly.
NBA had nothing to do with King Von.
Right, but he wrote about 1 million songs dissing King
So
Von in
what?
O Block
That
after the
doesn't
murder took
mean
place.
He wanted to murder King Von.
At all.
No, but he almost certainly
All that means
wanted
is,
him dead.
all that means
Hell
is
no.
he's entertaining the fans.
The fuck out of here.
No different than Death Row Bad Boy.
Why are you shooting him so much bail?
No, this is what's real.
Why are you invested in this? He do over on the games
listen.
feature anyway.
Listen,
He wouldn't go hard for you like
Listen.
this.
he didn't do that.
Yes, he did.
No, that was
Who did
some
it?
label going on.
Air him out.
No, we ain't going. NBA didn't do that. So listen, let's keep it real. Everything you're saying is an assumption.
The difference between what I'm saying
The whole documentary is an
I'm a
assumption.
black man, a
making it
successful
racial,
black man,
you can tell you're losing, so
right?
you're making it about
No,
race.
this is real.
The difference between me and you is that I have watched this whole documentary and I'm working with at least some information, whereas you are working with none.
I talk to NBA direct.
Okay. And you don't even know the 4K tray is a blood set.
Listen, that is a movement.
I must ain't watched it that deep into that, because I'd have flipped out if I heard him make that assumption. I think I watched like 2.5 hours. Ain't no way I'm watching the whole 6-hour documentary.
Well, why are you
Was
saying
Black
that? You
Wall
don't
Street-
But I ain't hear him make that. I ain't hear him do that.
Bloods?
I don't know what that is. I shall not familiarize
You
myself
know
with
Black
it.
Wall Street?
I remember it, but I don't know exactly what it was or wasn't.
Who was the ran the fourth from Black Wall Street? The game, right?
Yeah, you tell me. Tell me all
The
about it.
game, right?
Yeah, well, I remember the
So
name.
were they Bloods?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
There was a bunch of Crips over there too.
Okay.
So was there a movement?
Do we see any Crips with 4K tray?
Are
I
they
don't think so.
movement?
Also, I don't want
You
to
don't
lose out.
know.
I don't want to lose out
You
on my
don't know.
cool NBA YoungBoy pass. As far as I know, he's
Bro,
cool with
listen.
me. I don't want to bet up
You
in the
just
course of
said
this
here-
conversation.
You just sat here and said that the man started.
We gonna go to Melly after this,
that's
y'all.
allegedly tied to 12 bodies. And you telling me you're an NBA YoungBoy fan,
I'm afraid I'm a Bang fan too.
and this man is on fighting a federal case right now. What kind of mother? Where you come from, man?
To be fair, the federal
They
case
don't care,
revolves
y'all.
around a video shoot in which he
That's
was
the thing, y'all. They don't care. All they worried about is clicks, views, and likes. And they ain't the only ones. It's people of the culture the same way. But yo, that's irresponsible in my opinion, man. That's very irresponsible.
carrying a bunch of guns, which he knew he wasn't supposed to
You
do.
don't think you saying the things you saying, right? People won't hear that.
You think this is going to get brought up in court?
It could be.
You've been alive a little too long to actually
The
think that.
video shoot get brought up in court?
Yeah, video records of someone. Do you think they're going to bring up a video of, like, look at this podcaster talking about a video that he saw online? What does that prove?
What got R. Kelly indicted? If Surviving R. Kelly wouldn't have came out, that man wouldn't be in jail right now.
Facts.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's real.
It's a
I don't know
fact.
how true that is. But
That's real.
okay.
And you gotta understand that your voice has reach. It will make people talk. It will make your people, that are the very same people in that federal court, have a discussion.
That seems ambitious. The Trapler Ross
As a writer.
documentary, the Trapler Ross
As a
documentary
writer.
has 1 million views in the past 2 days. Will you commit to watching it so we can discuss it next time?
I definitely will watch it.
It's extremely well done
Send me the
content.
link. We're gonna go over it on the Hunter side and Dangerous
The
Minds.
difference between the YoungBoy documentary that Trapler Ross did and the King Von documentary is that he, in the King Von one, is really suggesting, let me finish, that King Von actually committed these murders, whereas he doesn't really get at the idea that YoungBoy might have actually done the
Yo, if y'all on Twitter, come to YouTube, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. Become part of the team. We rocking and rolling.
Might have been hits that he ordered, but there is
That's all cap.
there is one situation. in
Trying to
which
get to 4,000 subs by October, man. We can pull it off.
fired a fucking machine gun.
800 away. Well, 700 some change away.
So you don't believe it, even though he
Been going up fast
Somebody
lately.
played out on something don't mean they did.
okay. Well, I mean, that's basically.
Sometimes the judicial system will put you in a position to where you have to plead out on it because the
That's true.
politics of the situation says you're looking at 50 years if you
My bad, my bad. I'm done now.
paint this picture in front of
I was
you,
hungry. I ain't nothing all
don't
day,
look
man.
like you, and they're gonna convict you.
This is a very specific style of podcasting in which you take the subject, the rapper in this case, and you ignore everything that they say about
Austin, what it do?
and everything that seems to corroborate what they say, and you ignore all of it, and you shoot a rail for no reason.
Bro.
For no reason.
So you think the things that rappers say is their reality?
Do you think that when
Rappers are
two
street
people have a
reporters.
conversation?
They're rapping about shit, stories people told them,
Oh, next you're gonna tell me.
movies they might have saw. This
We're
real
the
shit.
CNN of the ghetto. Rappers
They're
been
street
saying that for about
reporters.
30 years, and it's bullshit.
Okay, watch
CNN
this.
does something very different
Watch
than what
this.
NBA YoungBoy does.
Yeah, they lie to people. Rappers tell the truth. Watch this.
That seems to go against what you're
Watch
trying
this.
to get across in
Watch
this
this.
conversation.
Ice Cube. Ice Cube says, I started this gangster shit. What does he mean?
He means that he was one of the most influential gangster rappers early on in the very early days of gangster rap. I don't know that he would say he's the person who started it, but NWA, you could say, basically started it, right?
He's talking about rap music.
For sure.
And he's in his own right to claim that.
I don't think.
Yo, Ice Cube was a piece of shit. Ice Cube promoted gangsterism to the black community, but the whole time Ice Cube was not a fucking gangster. Ice Cube went to college. Ice Cube kids ain't gangster. It's like yo, we gotta pay attention to what was going on back then, yo. And I think a lot of times, especially people like my age, we didn't realize what rap was doing. It was just taking off. You look back at it now, talking about rap 50 years. I'm like, shit, I'm 37, so when I was 15 years old, what the fuck, rap was only like 20, 30. I mean, it was still relatively young. So we didn't even realize that they was force feeding us this bullshit. But Ice Cube wasn't no gangster, but that's what he sold to the community. So he is right. He started this gangster shit, and that's not something to be proud of, for real. But it devastated the black community.
Anybody thinks that a rapper who came out in the 90s started being a gangster.
80s.
80s. We could go all the way back to what, like the 60s?
The 80s.
Italian mafias.
But when he says, I started this gangster shit, right?
He's talking about gangster rap.
Gangster rap.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you heard some of the music.
He talking about gangster shit in the black community. That's what he's talking about.
The lyrics.
Don't
Right.
try to change his words.
The street report. Things they saw. Things they might have survived. Stories they heard.
He made it
Wrong
cool
shit that happened to them.
to be a
Call
gangster.
Birdman right now and ask him if YoungBoy's a blood.
He can be a blood. That doesn't mean we're negative. Are you saying bloods are negative?
No.
Huh? What do you mean? So what if he is a blood?
I just want to know.
Are you saying they're negative?
I want to know if 4K Trey is solidified in these streets.
4K Trey,
I'm going to hit up the Grim 3.
I would say
Then he making a mockery of this shit.
is a movement. No different than what Black Wall Street was. No different than what Bad Boy at Death Row was.
No, look it up. What is
It's a
4K
movie.
Trey? What is 4K Trey?
You know what that is? 4K Trail, 4K Trail, 4K Trail. 3
Or
times.
forever killing them.
Who said that?
Well, it's been suggested.
Said
You see what I'm saying?
Theodore Rockenbacher. Who suggested that?
Okay, Urban Dictionary. 4K Trey is a gang created by NBA
Y'all like the video, man, so we get
And
some people on here.
Who's the author of the Urban Dictionary?
Benjamin Franklin.
There you go. Shout out Blueface. You know what I'm saying? He got to Ben Franklin.
Alright, that's it. We're gonna need to see no more of that. I just wanted y'all to hear that, y'all. That's why I be against them. That's why I was so against that documentary, man. Change public perception with a whole bunch of assumptions. That's all it was assumptions. But he just made him fat. No, perception is reality, man. He changed public perception, so now it's real. Oh shit, it's my video. What the fuck am I doing? My bad, y'all. Had a brain freeze real quick. Hold up. just was talking to somebody on. I need to do a video about that Jeezy and Jenny Maya, yo. I don't trust that relationship. I don't think that relationship was legitimate at all. At all. I think they've been pushing agendas through Jeezy since he came out. Trap or die. See, for people that's not old enough, y'all, a lot of these guys changed the streets, man. People was really living by trapping or dying. Yeah, man. A lot of people probably went to jail behind that shit. Alright, but this what I really want to talk about. So basically what happened with this situation is she didn't come to court. But she supposed to have been the star witness for the prosecution. What's up?
Is my book bag down here?
Why would the book bag be down here, Sean? I'm live, y'all don't come around here. Yeah, now I don't necessarily remember what she said. Hopefully we can get some clarity on that in this video. But she's currently on the run. Got an active warrant out because they're trying to get her to come to court. And I seen a couple people dissect this, but I don't think they did it no justice. So that's what we're going to do on this video.
You guys haven't seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted.
Mariah Hamilton, the ex-girlfriend of accused murderer Ynw Melly, sits down for an interview with us to talk about the case, her relationship with the rapper, and why she never appeared in court. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law on Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So anybody who follows Sidebar knows that we were pretty heavy in covering the Ynw Melly double murder trial out of Broward County, Florida. This was the case of the rapper, real name Jamel Demons, who's accused of shooting to death his two friends and fellow YNW group rappers Christopher Thomas Jr., or YNW Juvie, and Anthony Williams.
I think I did the best videos on this.
Chaser. The two men were found shot to death on October 26, 2018.
I told people the whole time, man, you know, people was wavering, oh, he gonna get found. I'm like, man, he not ready to get found guilty of these charges, y'all. The evidence wasn't there. The evidence wasn't there, man. And then I did a video, too. People need to check that out, because I only think a lot of people seen that video. Of juror number 7. If y'all remember, juror number 10 came out and basically said this juror came in and just disrupted the whole thing. You feel me? It even swayed a couple people to vote not guilty. So she actually did an interview. And I think I'm the only person that covered it. And she gave her perspective and her point of view. And it was basically aligned with what I said at the beginning. In the beginning. When I spoke on jury number 10, speaking on her, was they were trying to railroad him. It was nowhere, yo, throughout that whole trial. No evidence was presented to charge this man with manslaughter with a deadly weapon. That case was a first-degree murder case or nothing. Now, I don't know if she understood that, and that's why she voted not guilty, but even still, I think she did the right thing.
Henry, or YNW Boardman, pulled up to the hospital with the bodies of Thomas and Williams in the car, claiming that they were all victims of a drive-by shooting. Now, the evidence has suggested that this was a staged drive-by shooting, and that the shots actually came from inside the vehicle. And in their case, the prosecution focused on ballistics, trajectory, potential gang affiliations of Ynw Melly, but in the end, it didn't work. The jury didn't find Melly guilty, but they also didn't find him not guilty. They actually couldn't make a decision. They were hung, and a mistrial was ultimately declared. It came after 14 hours of deliberations. Not an easy case. And as we think about the upcoming retrial, we look back at the case and we think, wow, there were a lot of people who testified, but there was one significant absence. Someone who was mentioned but never appeared in court. Ynw Melly's former girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton. Now, why is she so important? Well, Mariah Hamilton's mother, Felicia Holmes, told police in December of 2018 about a FaceTime call between Melly and Hamilton, her daughter, right after the shooting, where, according to her, Melly said someone shot the car up, that a car was was coming behind him, that presumably the shooter or shooters were hiding there, and then he said he thinks Zach, Jason, and Juvie are dead. Then she says she saw Melly at this guy Fredo Bang's house. Apparently Fredo picked him up after the shooting. And while she offered to Melly...
Yeah, word of advice, y'all, if you're involved in if you're involved in active criminality, yo, don't tell no female your business. Yo. I mean, and Melly was young. I get it. You know, people got this false perception of ride or die chick and, you know, Bonnie and Clyde and all that glamorized nonsense. Yo, but women is not built to hold that type of information. And she was a kid at the time. Like, so her mother's definitely gonna be all involved. You feel me? So that was a bad decision. If that's the truth. He shouldn't have never done that.
To stay with her after all this happened. She says Melly went to a video shoot after all this happened. Then at some point, Holmes says that her daughter told her that Melly was threatening her and that she feels Melly had something to do with the murders. Hamilton even talked to law enforcement about a text from Melly where he allegedly says, "I take lives." Hamilton also addressed possible...
Well, that could mean anything.
There's a good chance somebody's trying to hack your website right now. You gotta make sure you're...
Possible tension that Melly may have had with one of the victims. Follow-up reporting indicates that might have been Zach Chaser. Now, this is important testimony, right? This is important evidence. But the problem was, Miss Holmes' sworn deposition years later...
Yo, but that's not groundbreaking evidence. Like, that's not, to me, I don't think that's make or break evidence.
2022 was not consistent with what she told police in 2018. In fact, when Holmes took the stand in Ynw Melly's trial, things got heated, basically accusing the government, from law enforcement to the prosecutor.
If y'all remember when I talked about that, I said that back and forth she had with the prosecution was going to hurt the prosecution. I knew that was going to hurt the prosecution. It came off as insensitive.
To testify against Melly.
Did you have an opportunity to read the statement you gave in 2008? I read the statement. Okay.
Like, it's not really a good idea to force people to take the stand if they're not willing. If they're not willing participants. Because that's what you're going to get. And they still trying it. I mean, even after it blew up in their face the first time. So they still trying to force people to take the stand. That's not a recipe for success. It's not a winning formula.
I don't remember anything from that statement, but I do remember my deposition from December 22. Were you honest and truthful with law enforcement when you spoke with them? I would hope so. I mean, it was 2018.
So if you're on Twitch or Twitter, man, come to YouTube, man. Just keep it G News. Subscribe to the channel. We trying to get the 5,000 or 4,000 subs by October. We're going fast.
When you first took the stand, you said, "I feel threatened."
Yes, I do.
Who do you feel threatened by? This prosecutor.
Yes, I do.
So with that in mind, we here at Law and Crime had the unique opportunity to actually interview Mariah Hamilton herself. Again, she never appeared in court. Now, in our interview, she was accompanied
They must
by
have paid
her
her a couple
attorney,
hours for that.
Harris. This was in his law office. And also her mother, Felicia Holmes, was there as well, and we asked her some questions. And with that, let's play you our interview. Mariah Hamilton, thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, she a whole kid, man. She probably 21.
I'm so happy to see you and meet you because it's been kind of, I think a lot of people wanted to hear from you. I think a lot of people were expecting to see you at the trial. And there's been some issues in terms of what's been happening with the police. If you can explain to people why we haven't seen you or heard from you.
You guys haven't seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted. I've tried to get the warrant lifted many times, but it's just been like a constant battle with my lawyer and the prosecutor. So I've just been, laying low trying to get the warrant lifted before I could even come in and, speak my part.
Let's talk about that. So, and by the way, you are in your lawyer's office. Your lawyer, Christopher Barris, is off to the side. He's going to come in a little bit later. Yeah, so I saw that it was only, I think, yesterday and a few days before you filed a complaint against the lead investigator in Ynw Melly's trial, Mark Moretti. And you basically accused him of bullying you and harassing you into providing testimony in this case. What can you tell us about that?
When the situation first happened, me and my mom was I was threatened. I was 17, about to turn 18. They came to my house.
Look, I told you she was a kid.
They were telling me that they were going to arrest me with accessory after the fact. My mom didn't know
See?
what to do.
That's why. You see what I'm saying? By him giving her any type of information after that crime, if this is true, it made her an accessory to this crime. Bad decision. Terrible decision. But people only do that because it get glorized that way. Like, gotta find you a chick that'll ride for you. Take a charge for you. All that shit rappers talk about. But that's not reality. That's stupid. Should have never got that. She shouldn't have known nothing. She ain't know nothing. He probably have beat the charge because they never even. Her name had never came up. If you're involved in street shit, the less your girl know, the better.
I was trying to go to the military at the time.
So even if it come a time where they actually grab her, she don't know nothing. And she ain't hiding information because she don't know. Better to keep them in the blind, man. Promise you.
I had to just tell them what they wanted to hear so they could leave me alone, which I thought they would leave me alone, but they didn't. So.
And that don't work either.
Why did they think that you were a part of what happened?
Because I was his girlfriend at the time, so they thought that I knew more than what I was telling them, which I didn't.
Did you know you can increase your revenue with Snapchat ads? Just ask Manscaped.
We have seen a 162% increase in revenue from Snapchat ads in the US year over year.
On Snapchat, you can reach a highly engaged audience, who are 34% more likely to...
I bet they are.
So they were just harassing me, being that I was his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend at the time. So.
When you say Mark Moretti was harassing you, what was he saying to you? What was he doing?
When he first came to my house, it was so unexpectedly. I had put up with my cousin, and they were outside my house parked. I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, what's going on? Or whatever. I'm asking her what's going on. She was like, they want to talk to you. You have to talk to them. They're threatening me, saying that they're going to go to jail. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I ended up telling him my story. I told him what I knew. He told me that I was lying. He told me that I knew more than what I was telling him, and that he was going to.
Should never let that girl involved, man.
Accessory after the fact. So we ended up he wanted me to get on a tape recording and tell him what he wanted me to tell him, so which I did. After that, he was like, they wouldn't bother me.
So imagine being in her situation. 17 years old. You got a homicide. Her and the mother. It don't sound like there's no man around. No voice of reason. You got a homicide detective coming to her, telling her that, a girl that more than likely she don't know nothing about the legal or criminal justice system. Coming to this little girl talking about, look, if you don't give me this information, you're going to jail. So I can see a situation where she said whatever she needed to say. You feel me? Because, like she said, you're lying to me. You're not telling the truth. Look, he got this jail bit over her head. You know what I mean? She gonna say whatever it is just to get out the situation. I can see that happening. I've seen people. I told y'all numerous times. I had a co-defendant that pled guilty to a murder he had nothing to do with. It was evidence saying he had nothing to do with. You feel me? Just because he was facing a death penalty on one case. So he pled guilty to another murder and caught life for both of them. It's crazy. It sounds wild, but it's true. I didn't even realize people done that until I was in that situation. You feel me? And realized like, damn, that's I never in my life. You feel me? Like, can't nobody make me say nothing. But pressure bust pipes, yo, and everybody not built for pressure. And I can see her being 16, 17 years old and them putting that jail sentence over her head because in her mind, she don't know the law. She can really go to jail, but in reality, she couldn't. But it's a scare tactic. So I can see her doing that.
They were still calling and texting my mom, asking for me. I refused to talk so many times. And yeah, I haven't really talked to them ever since 2019.
And now you said that there's an arrest warrant.
They probably trying to tap her phone and everything.
Why do you feel comfortable coming out now and talking about this?
Because I just want people to know that I'm not running because of like any money or anything like that. It's because I don't want to go to jail for something that I did. I don't want to go to jail for something that I didn't do or something that I'm not a part of. I just feel like people's looking at my side of this. They're looking at me wrong, and that's not what it is. What they're showing.
The lawyer allowing her to talk too much.
You want to clear the record. So you file this complaint.
Yeah, that's what he should have just said. Clear the record. What's up?
What are you hoping happens there?
Sean came down here while I was eating. He farted on me.
Yo, come on, yo. You know I'm on live. Yo, go back upstairs, man. Why would you come down here and tell me something like that? You know I'm on live.
Me and my lawyer tried to go in to talk on so many occasions, but I was always threatened with if I don't tell them what I want to do.
Yo, you could have waited.
I'm going to jail, so it's like I never went to jail before, so that's my main concern.
Oh, I get it. Let's talk a little bit about Ynw Melly. So first of all, how did you meet him? And when did you meet him?
I met him. I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. I met him through mutual friends.
Yo, Melly ugly as a motherfucker. That boy like a giraffe or something.
He had just got out of a program. Yeah, he had just got out of a program. We met through mutual friends. His friend was telling me that he wanted to see me after homecoming. So me and my friends was like, okay, we'll link up with you guys after homecoming or whatever. Like,
hi, Jimmy Page here with Bitrix 24, a free CRM.
That so instead of us going to after homecoming, we go to after parties. We end up hanging out with him, and ever since that night, me and him just been cool. Like we just been close ever since.
Was it like love at first sight? Like you thought he was attractive, or like?
I wouldn't say me, but for him,
he was.
Oh man, they was kids, man. Nobody trying to hear that shit. Keep it moving.
I thought he was weird. My friends were like, he just really likes you. I'm like, I don't know, but it was cute, but it was weird.
Well, you were so young, right?
Yeah, I was 15. I was 15 and he was 17, I think. Yeah, he was 17.
What's he like? Like, what's his personality like? Because I think there was a lot made during the course of his trial about his demeanor, smiling in the courtroom, praying, kissing up in the sky. What's he like?
He's just he's different. He's a very outspoken person. He doesn't mean no harm, but he's really different. He's always lighting up the room, regardless. If he's even going through something, nobody would tell because he don't show. He shows it differently. So he's different from. He's different. He's goofy. Yeah.
What was your relationship like with him?
We was good. Our relationship was good, but we had some bad times too. I wouldn't say we was off. And I just think
You ain't trying to hear that shit.
It might not be the right time for us with the relationship part as of right now. So, maybe we could come along in the meantime or in the long run in the future, but as of right now, I'm trying to get myself together, and I know you have a lot going on, so it's like.
Has he tried to reach out recently?
Yo, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, people care about that?
Part of a gang. What do you make of that?
He never showed me that he was a part of a gang. He never told me like, hey, I'm a part of a gang, or
They showed the pictures.
that. Like, the things that they were talking about during the trial, like, I was new to that as well. Like, I didn't know of him being or wanting to be, or however they're trying to paint the picture of him being in the gang. So.
Oh, she answered that the right way. However, they're trying to paint the picture. Don't stamp nothing.
I heard about them, but I just thought everybody was just all friends, close friends. Like I was never a part of, he kept me out of anything that he ever had going on. So.
And he should have kept her out of this fucking whole situation, man. he was doing everything right until he placed that phone call. If he placed it, allegedly.
When you say that he kept you at,
especially women with kids, you definitely don't want to involve them in nothing.
Phone calls away from you, or not making sure you didn't see your phone, nothing like that.
No. I had his password to his phone, so like, and he would never walk away while he's on the phone to talk to anyone. Not in front of me.
So in other words, if he was part of a gang, or he was talking to people who were part of a gang, that's something you would have known.
I would have known, yeah, and no, I'd never known that. No.
I want to talk about Zach Chaser and Juvie. What were they like? You know, I really just want to get an understanding. Their lives were lost. It's a tragedy. What were they like? What was your relationship with them?
They were like family to me.
I think Zach Chaser sent a picture of his wood for real. He was geeking.
Anywhere we go, like his shows, to the studio, anywhere, they made sure I was straight. Like, made sure I had something to eat. Like, if I had to go to the bathroom, they would walk into the bathroom. They were like big brothers to me, honestly. And I've never had brothers before.
If this true, y'all, if this whole story is true, it sounds like the beef is with Zach Chaser. And Juvie just had to be collateral damage. You know, if what they saying is accurate. You know, cause I think those two was close. So if it happened how they said it happened, he probably got hit first. Juvie probably ain't know what to do. Motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Start getting speculatory of him, knocked him off. But if he killed his homeboys, y'all, I don't respect that at all, man. I don't give a fuck what the circumstance was. They wasn't trying to kill him or anything like that, and from what we know, we ain't got no information of that sort. Then he was out of order for that. These was just day one homeboys. Like, these niggas went to school with, elementary school and shit.
I really appreciated that a lot.
Did Melly ever have any problems with them? Because there were accusations that, you know, they might have been jealous of him, there might have been financial problems, money problems, anything like that, you see?
No, not at all. Like,
hey, yo. It's like they're trying to get fucking witness testimony out her motherfucking ass. I mean, like, I don't know, yo. It's a little different, yo. Like, why are they asking her those type of questions? They should just be asking her about her situation. It's like they're trying to get background information on Melly, information that they probably wouldn't have without her. I don't know. I don't really like that. But her lawyer co-signed this, so I guess they know what they're doing. I don't think I would have allowed my client to do this. I'd have been interjecting like a mother. I'd have messed up the whole interview. I'd have been stop, ho. Next question. We ain't answering that.
He loved them. They went, them two out of everybody, it's a whole bunch of people a part of Ynw. Them two, they were there everywhere he went. Like, anywhere he'd go, he would make sure they're in his budget. He would make sure they're a part of his budget. He would make sure they got a flight. He was just always helpful to everybody.
Mariah, do you think Melly killed Zach Chaser and Juvie?
No, I do not.
What makes you say that?
Because he treated them like
She already
they
said
were
it.
his brothers, like they all had the same mom and the same dad, which they didn't. But he always he never showed a sign that he didn't like them, he didn't want them around or anything of that sort. So that was just odd.
If he didn't do it, do you have a theory about who did do it?
No, I don't.
What have you met Courtney?
I don't like his line of questioning, man.
Yes, I did. Yes, I have.
He questioning her like a prosecutor.
He's cool. He's like a brother too. We're both Aquarius, so you know sometimes.
You can tell she a lot closer with Portland than she was with them two. She lit up when they mentioned Portland.
Yeah, I know him. That's the crazy part. I know him long.
See, I guess that's why she known Portland long.
Zoom is so pandemic. That's why I use Rivers.
Longer than I know Melly, so. Just
And what's Melly's relationship with Cortland Henry?
the same. Like they known each other for a long time. They all went to school together. They were like brothers. They interacted together when they were younger. Yeah, they love the studio. They bond at the studio, even out of the studio. They always bond.
Would you say that Melly's relationship with Cortland Henry was closer than it was with Sack Chaser and Judy?
I wouldn't answer that. No. Say no.
I wouldn't say that.
Do you think that he is capable of killing Sack Chaser and Judy Henry?
No.
I don't think so.
I want to get a little bit into what happened that night. The night that you found out, first let's just start from this. When you found out that they were killed,
what the fuck?
What was your reaction?
What the prosecutors asked him to ask? let me find out the prosecutors wrote some questions down for him to ask her, man.
In Coco, and I was in shock. I was in disbelief. I didn't think it was true. I thought it wasn't true at all. Until I actually came down there and found out about it.
Who told you, or how'd you find out?
No answer that question?
Oh, the police are the ones that have told you the story.
Huh?
It was the police who told you about the incident, I think.
Right, yeah.
So,
yeah. So, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? She shouldn't have did this interview. Yo, Law Crime working with the prosecution, man. I promise you. He questioning her like he's a prosecutor. Like, none of that is important, yo. Her sole reason up here should be trying to clear her name as to why she didn't show up in court. She shouldn't be answering no other questions outside of that. Outside of that at all. He sounds like a prosecutor, man. Because they can use this interview.
Yeah,
in court.
I found out through the police, yeah.
They came to you and told you.
Hold on, man. Let me go back.
Well, killing Sack Chaser and Judy Henry?
I don't think so.
I want to get a little bit into what happened that night. The night that you...
Listen to his voice, y'all. You see how you can tell when somebody trying to be sneaky when their voice change. You know, he give them the calm and soothing voice. Let's go into a little bit about, like, man, come on, boy. I'm on to him already. Can't trust him.
You found out, first let's just start from this. When you found out that they were killed, where were you and what was your reaction?
I was at home in Coco, and I was in shock. I was in disbelief. I didn't think it was true. I thought it wasn't true at all. Until I actually came down there and found out about it.
Who told you, or how'd you find out?
No answer that question?
oh, the police are the ones that have told you the story.
Huh?
It was the police who told you about the incident, I think.
Right, yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, yeah. I found out through the police, yeah.
They came to you and told you. And what was your reaction? Were you just shocked? Did you break down into tears?
Look how naive she is, man.
Yeah, Yeah, I was crying. I was terrified. I was scared. I was scared for everybody in the situation. Me and my mom went that way, and I couldn't. For ever since that situation, I couldn't sleep for a few days. Like I was just still in shock about the whole situation.
Did you call Melly immediately and say, "Are you okay?" Or did he call you?
I went down there. And
Went down where?
to Miami, because I live in Cocoa.
Right.
So I went to Miami.
But did you speak to him before you went down and said, "I'm on my way"?
No.
Did he say anything to you about the shootings?
No, he never talked to me about the shootings.
So there's been a lot of back and forth that he had communicated to you about it and said that he was there, that it was a drive-by. Is that not true?
Mariah, you know, Mariah's position, Jesse, is that, you know, she was never told by either Melly or Portland about the incident itself. She did learn about it, but she never had any conversation with either of those two individuals about the actual incident, anything that happened.
Where'd they get that lawyer from? He rinky dink as hell, man. They should have got better lawyers, man.
I know everyone wants to know the answer to those questions, but I think that's...
Melly should have made sure she had a good lawyer.
No matter how many times you ask her that.
Well, I only asked her one time, so I'm just curious if...
No, hold on. Let me backtrack. We asked her the same question twice, different ways.
You know,
told y'all he on some prosecution shit.
Right. But did you speak to him before you went down and said, "I'm on my way"?
Look, yeah, he did it again. Lawyer caught it.
Did he say anything to you?
The girl just said that she found out from the police what happened. He turned back around and asked her again, well, did you talk to him before you went to the police? No! Why repeat that question when she already gave the answer for? He working for the prosecution, y'all. Law and crime think they slick.
No, he never talked to me.
He ain't do this interview in good faith.
So there's been a lot of back and forth that he had communicated to you about it and said that he was there, that it was a drive-by. Is that not true?
wait a second.
He asked it 3 times. Asked her the same question. And if the lawyer went right there, she'd have got caught up. Because she ain't even peep it. She ain't peeped the play. Now I see why the lawyer interjected.
Mariah's position, Jesse, is that, you know, she was never told by either Melly or Portland about the incident itself. She did learn about it, but she never had any conversation with either of those two individuals about the actual incident, anything that happened that night. So the questions you're asking, I know everyone wants to know the answer to those questions, but I think that's what she's going to tell you, and no matter how many times you ask her that.
Well, I only asked her one time, so I'm just curious.
You asked her 3 times.
She said she didn't know anything about it. She didn't speak to him. I mean, I'm sure Mariah can tell me that, but I'm just curious.
Okay. Well, I want her to tell you herself, but again, I don't want this to turn into an interrogation. More.
Exactly, y'all. They try to interrogate that girl, man. They try to interrogate that girl, man. That's what law and crime doing right now, man. I'm glad I did sit back and watch this. Cause I ain't see nobody else say this at all. I'm not saying two people react to it. I ain't see nobody else say this, that they interrogating this girl right now. That's what he's trying to do. Good thing the lawyer stopped it. They trying to make this her testimony, cause she ain't coming to court.
And it's not going to help to try to get into the after conversations or any meetings that you may have had with either.
Well, I hope, Mariah, you don't think this is interrogation, but I will tell you, your lawyer did say that we could ask anything about the case, so I hope that this isn't a attention, but I just wanted to ask. If you don't want me to move on, I can definitely move on.
Move on.
Concerning the night, with what I have going on with the situation, I don't feel comfortable speaking on the situation.
Okay. So let's talk about the trial. Did you watch it at all?
Yes, I have.
What'd you think of it?
And he pissed now. You see his whole demeanor change, y'all. His whole demeanor changed after she shot him down. Now he all tensed up. Well, let's talk about the trial. What did you think of it? You try to be slick. You dirty. Man.
Sometimes where I could watch it, and then sometimes
He probably was a lawyer or something before he could start working on law crime. Prosecutor. I bet if I was to Google him and his history, I guarantee he was a prosecutor before.
Just how the picture was painted, basically. I didn't like that, especially if it's with me and my mom, and how we got like paid off. That never happened. So.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. And by the way, if your mom wants to come in for this question, I would love to ask her about this too, because we covered the trial. Yes, your mom is there too. I just was curious. Hi.
Well, that was her talking in the
So I wanted
background.
to ask you real quick about this. That was a very heated moment in that courtroom between you and the prosecutor. What can you tell us about that?
It just was a lot of anger with me because of everything me and my daughter went through, what Christine Bradley's tried to put us through. I felt like we're getting persecuted more than the defendants, you know. I feel like the Cortland has more rights.
That's why I need to be a man in these households, man.
Ankle monitor, and I'm supposed to be your witness.
Y'all, it's been so many times, yo, so many situations, y'all, where it's just mother and the daughter in court. Mother and daughter on the news talking about something that happened to the son, or mother, daughter, grandmother, aunt. Like, yo, where's the men at, y'all? The fuck the hell is going on out here? Supposed to be a man sitting right there in the middle.
It's like you're not taking that for an answer. Even right before I came.
But it ain't all men's fault though, shit. She probably hard to, you know what I mean?
She asked me a question, so I did.
Trying to what the fuck she got going on.
Really, Felicia? Like telling me, you do know the answer. Like anything I would tell them, you have to go back and forth with her. I'm going to file a complaint against Mrs. Bradley. That's something I'm talking to my lawyer about right now. I have had him already. But we did just go to court. She had court on my birthday to have the ankle monitor off for her to get it from the judge and say, like, I'm a flight risk. I'm not going to show up for testimony, and she doesn't want me to have it off. So
Yo, so the mother is on home monitor or GPS? Damn, they put a motherfucking what they call that shit? What's the name of that one, man? A detachment on her. I think that's what it's called.
At this point, I don't want to testify, but if I have to, I'm going to go plead the fifth, because at this point, I'm going to get arrested. She's trying to send me to jail. I mean, there's no immunity for me and my child.
Can you both make this clear for anybody who's following and haven't followed the policy? Has there ever been a point when either of you were evading law enforcement, evading the ability to testify, and they
That's why Melly should have never got them involved. See, yo, and I think I said that when I did this video. It's real messed up that they in this situation, yo, because they ain't got nothing to do with it. They ain't got nothing to do with it, yo. It's just a they may have some information that they ain't trying to release, yo. Anything outside of that, yo, they ain't got nothing to do with this shit, man. It's fucked up, yo, that he even put them in this. Changed them women's whole life. She was a kid at the time. Got the mother on ankle monitor. That's you know, Melly down bad for that, man. If that's the case. But if they wouldn't have just not said nothing the whole time, you know, because part of the reason they in this situation is because they gave conflicting statements. If they was to not say nothing the whole time, they wouldn't even be in this situation. But then you double back at the same time. What do you expect? You know what I mean? They was trying to lock them up. They said anything.
They were trying to track you down, and you were not cooperating. If you can make it clear about that, what that means, and were you ever evading law enforcement or trying to testify?
When you say evade, I'm not going to say I evaded them. What I'm going to say happened was I was a travel nurse in California. She was serving subpoenas in Florida. I'm in California. You're serving subpoenas to my ex-husband.
She said that during the trial.
We don't live there anymore. I have an address. Christine Browder has not had one share.
So that's what the husband, the man that she didn't divorce the nigga prior.
Mariah, what did you think of your mom's testimony? As I said, it was heated.
Especially wish these asses was around right now. They'd have navigated this situation way better. Depending on what type of dude he is.
Like I said, I didn't like it. I just felt like she was painting a wrong picture for me and my mom, basically making it seem like we were paid off, and that wasn't the case.
And that we were running from her when our lawyer has called her on so many times, and we've even set up times to meet with her to get this taken care of. And it's like her with her, it's either you go to jail, you say what I want you to say, or you go to jail. And I don't think witnesses shouldn't be treated like that.
And that's the reason why that's the reason why I haven't changed, because you're threatening me with jail if I don't tell you what I want to hear, and it's like, that's not fair.
She's never been to jail. She's had me in Broward County Jail. It's disgusting. I was treated like crap in there. I don't want my daughter to be put to that, or anything like that. So, you know, I've been to jail for it.
I'm not going to get into the substance of it, but just so we were clear, there's never been a situation where you told one story and then changed your story, because that's their accusation.
Their accusation is I told one story and changed my story, but they're not telling you that the story I initially told was under duress or risking forced to tell the story. Are you going to take my 17-year-old daughter to jail? I mean,
right? Like, yo, how can you? Yo, any statements made under duress should be thrown out. How can you? Yo, you can't expect a person to be honest if you threatening to take their child from them. Most parents, especially most women, will say anything if you threatening to take their child from them, man. So how can they? I don't understand that, yo. How can the courts not see that? You understand? The courts they know how this go. How can the courts not see that? If those was her circumstances, if that's what her situation was, how can they not acknowledge the fact that she might will say anything? For real. I think the jury would understand that. For real. So it might not, they probably better off just going to court and telling them that. You know what I mean? I think most juries will understand that. If I was on a jury, I would understand that. They probably better off just going to court and telling them the truth. Man, look, man, this is what happened. I went down there the first time I told them what I told them. They didn't like what I told them. They came back talking about if I don't give them more information, they're going to lock us up. And they threatening my child. I went down there and I told them what they wanted to hear. I think the jury would understand that. Straight up. Better than running. Because she's gonna have to come to court. Unless they can put some type of charges on this state's attorney and that detective, she's gonna come to court. Or if she's not, she's gonna go to jail. That's really their only options for real.
They set it to play. It's on them the story's changed. But if I want to tell the truth, they don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear whatever they can hear to make a case against Melly to convict him for a person's double homicide and get the death penalty. That's what Christine wants. Or she wants my story to help her get that.
Let me ask you both this. Were you surprised that they went for the death penalty against Ynw Melly?
I was surprised. I was surprised with the death penalty because of the evidence. Because,
I was surprised too.
I didn't even think he
I
did
think
it.
that's what hurt him.
The first person who ever told me that he did it was Detective Moretti. It never even crossed my mind. I was a mother-in-law who was thinking that, because I knew he had gotten into with other rappers, and my daughter actually got into an altercation with him and another rapper in California in the studio, and it happened maybe like 3-4 weeks before that. So I'm thinking that's what happened. I'm thinking rappers someone's trying to kill him. So that's what I was under the impression. I never once thought this young man, because he's always been happy, he's always been dancing, I've never seen him with a gun, so I never once thought that he could actually kill 2 guys who I saw him with every time I saw him. It never crossed my mind.
And Mariah, what do you think, again, about they were going after him for the death penalty?
Yeah, it was crucial. It really hurt my heart, you know, that, even when he first went to jail, because it's like, it was just unbelievable. Especially with nobody he's with every day, 24/7.
Mariah, you said you watched the trial. The prosecution presented evidence about where the bullets came from. They presented text messages about, you know, whether or not he was involved in a gang. They presented evidence about, you know, that he might have written, "Shh, I did that" on social media. When you were hearing the prosecution's evidence against Ynw Melly, what did you think about it?
Weak.
Honestly, I was just so in disbelief. Like, I would watch it sometimes and then I'd turn it off. Like, some parts of it, I'll just turn it off.
Circumstantial.
Like, I can't believe it.
Those words that come to mind when I think about the trial.
What it's supposed to be. Like, it's not supposed to be like this at all. So
stupid on Melly and
forgive me.
Couple words.
Is it Felicia?
Yes.
Sloppy.
What did you think of the prosecution's case?
It's everything you wished for. Your site traffic is skyrocketing until this happens.
I told y'all that kid. Yo, the reason I think the prosecutors took too long to build their case. If y'all can remember, if y'all followed the case closely, or the first couple of days, y'all, it was long, drawn out text messages, and you see what I'm saying? And I've been saying the whole time, like, yo, she is luring the jury to sleep. It took way too long for a case to build up to the parts that, you know, that was going to stick in the juror's mind. That's why I was always saying not guilty or hung jury. You know what I mean? But I don't think guilty was ever in the equation for me, just because how they presented their case. You know, the jury want to see things that, you know, that they can remember. You know, you got to leave a lasting impression on them. You feel me? They don't want to go back there and have to shift the paperwork and text messages. You know, that shit. What's I'm looking for? It's tiring. Yeah, babe, for lack of better words. You already sitting there in court watching. Then you go in there, you gotta use your brain some more. Man, hell no, they want some shit that they can remember. So when they come out of them conversations, they can just straight go into the look. I remember well, she said this, that, and the third. You feel me? Ain't nobody trying to be shifting through all them papers, y'all. That's why they lost that case, y'all.
I thought that she did a piss poor job. I don't think she's a good prosecutor. I don't think she's a good person. I don't think she should even have that job. I'm trying to figure out what
she don't like her at all.
With someone like her, presenting a case this magnitude. I don't think she should be there. I don't think she knows what she's doing. So that's why I think she's doing all the manipulative stuff, is because she doesn't have her case together. She dropped the ball on so many things. Get your case together and stop making the witnesses paper.
That case was sloppy.
She's made so many mistakes. Already kept them ready, and now it's falling back on me and my daughter to making everyone think that our testimony is going to make or break your case. Your case should not be based off of me speak with him the morning of. I didn't think he did it. I didn't know he did it. So why would my testimony?
She was ready to say too much. You see the lawyer tapped her. She was ready to say too much. And see, that's what I'm saying. So imagine them in a pressure situation, y'all. Imagine them two in a pressure situation. They damn near ready to spill the beans on national television. Just talking too much. I could just imagine what they told him. Like, what they really told him. You feel me? They probably said it all. Yeah, I talked to him. He was right on the scene. It just had happened. He told me he killed people before. Oh, man, they probably said it all. And probably more than likely, it could have been some truth to it, but a lot of it probably was just, they probably put the, what Rilo say, you know, I gotta make it juicy for him. They probably made it real juicy for him in there, man. Scared to death.
Be the smoking gun. I don't understand why she would think that my testimony would go. I don't know.
And I said, y'all, that testimony, what he said that her testimony was, yo, that's not make or break evidence, y'all. That is not make or break evidence. So it lets us something more there. But from what he said in the beginning, nah, man, that shit ain't gonna make and break no fucking case. That case is too stretched out. It's not. I mean, she gotta bring it in some. Too many inconsistencies, too many gaps, and I mean, she gotta bring that case in some, yo, to secure a conviction, y'all. She gotta make it all make sense. She has to find a motive. One motive. Not 7 different motives. She gotta find a motive for one. You know what I mean? She haven't found that yet. All she got is opportunity.
There was a mistrial. What was your reaction to that, both of you?
I thought that it was, I felt bad for Melly because I felt like to get this far and now you have a mistrial, I have to go through all this again.
They need to get that boy a bail, man.
I felt bad for him.
Him and Young
He's
Thug.
still in jail. Like everyone's thinking it's a celebration time because of the mistrial. This man been in jail since 2018 off of evidence that's not even really there. So I thought that I felt bad for him. I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad for him.
Despite like what he and him have going on, I wouldn't want to see him in that predicament and in that position at all, especially when I don't believe like what they're saying is true. So,
Were you shocked, Mariah, that they couldn't come to a decision, or were you saying, you know, I can understand that?
I was shocked, but also it's understandable. But I was shocked.
I was shocked. I thought it was gonna be for sure not guilty with everything that Detective Ray and Christine Bradley have done to.
But the system nowadays is not the same.
Especially in Florida.
Well, the system ain't never been right. It'll
Well, if
nowadays.
this retrial happens,
Motherfuckers will run right over your motherfucking ass. You don't know what's going on.
You can testify.
Shh. Can you keep a secret? 9 out of 10 young people are on Snapchat.
System ain't.
They're chatting
That's the
with
problem
friends
with the system. The shit haven't changed.
I'm just trying to get the warrant lifted.
What's the
What
question?
happens, Mariah, I'll start with you, and they want you to testify. Are you going to testify?
I'm just trying to get the warrant lifted. I don't mind going to court as long as the warrant is lifted, which she's giving me a hard time with that. So I honestly don't have anything to do that.
And the crazy thing about it, if they really wanted them to come to court, all they gotta do is give them immunity. All they gotta do is give them immunity. They'll come to court flying cause they'll flop. They be the first people in court. I promise you. Cause they wanna put this behind them, man. This shit is stressing them out, especially the mother. The daughter, I don't really think she got a clue.
Taxpayers' money. She has me on a house arrest, man. I'm a nurse, you know.
Oh, so she is on house arrest.
The lady's crazy. I think this is her career. It's for her career or something. This is personal, and you can see from me in her testimony that it was very personal. Like she has a personal problem with me. It's nothing professional.
They put her on house arrest. Damn.
This is all like we have the same baby.
Not even just GPS monitor.
I have some beef with each other. That's how you can look at our testimony and see it's something personal going on there.
That's definitely personal. The mother being on house arrest is definitely personal. They could have just put on GPS tracker. They ain't have to put her on house arrest like she's like she a whole criminal. Like she just came home off a bit. Or she on, they basically got her on pre-trial. But even on pre-trial, they let you go. I mean, I don't know, man. That's wild that they got her like that.
I have to ask. I mean, if you end up on the witness box again and she's questioning you, what's that going to look like?
Same way.
I'm going to plead the fifth because I'm not. She wants me in jail. She wants to impeach me. She knows this today. So why would I get on the stand in November when I already know what you intend to try to do to me? So I'm going to go ahead and plead.
I thought the case. I thought it was in October.
There's money for me to plead the fifth in November.
Well, by the way, what did you both think of Melly's defense team?
I think they did a pretty good job. I think he had a pretty good defense team. I guess I never met him personally except for that day, but I do think that they kind of did okay.
Mariah, what did you think?
Yeah, I feel like they did good as well.
Their opening statements was. I like their opening statements. Their opening statement won the case for me.
Melly is acquitted. You kind
If y'all watch that video.
Maybe there'd be a future. Would you know?
If y'all watch that video, the first video I did on this trial, day 1, or may have been day 2. But when the prosecution did our opening statements, I was like, yo, they gotta have more than that. And then once the defense, man, he had the swag, he had the bravado, he had everything you need to sell a jury. That's all you trying to do is sell the jury on your story. I mean, I'm like, yeah, he got her. He got her on day 1.
Get in contact with him? Would you communicate with him? I see what your mom's saying, shaking her head, but...
Friends. Probably friends.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because I just want to be done with that family. I don't want anything else to do with those people. Like, my life has changed tremendously. I don't ever want to see him again. Like, I'm just over and done with it. I have no problem with him. I have nothing against them. But what has happened to me and my daughter...
Yeah, that's the second time he asked the daughter that question, too.
Felicia, real quick, do you have a theory as to what happened that night?
I think that maybe they pissed somebody off. I mean, these are rappers. They're going back and forth. They have all these beats. I think someone followed them from the studio. I think maybe he pissed somebody off. I think, I say if he was in the car or not, I don't know. Maybe he was, and he doesn't want to tell who actually did the shooting. I don't know, but...
And that is a valuable... That could have happened. Like, I don't understand. It's not that far out of the imagination to imagine that it was a shooting. Maybe it didn't happen in the car, but they just ain't trying to tell. You know what I mean? So they said it happened in the car and didn't think it through to realize, that they was going to do the ballistics and find out that it did. You see what I'm saying? But it could be a cover up, And it don't have to be a cover up meaning that he did it. It could be a cover up that somebody else did and he just ain't trying to tell. Now, do I think he did it? Man, hell yeah, I think he did that shit. You feel me? I would keep it all the way real. But I could say at the same time, the prosecution ain't prove his case. If I was on that jury, I'd have said not guilty.
I think that someone got mad at me. I just don't see him killing Sack and Judy. I'm not even saying Sack a good person, because Sack's not a good person. I don't care why everybody paint this picture about him, he's an awful person. But Judy, the guy, I don't think anything bad should ever happen to him. I think there's something that somebody else. I think Melly would have gotten shot too. I think he maybe was a target as well. Probably still is.
Any reason to think that, other than?
Well, I said my daughter was just in. They just got jumped. They had just gotten jumped in Atlantic Records, I think, in L.A. Was it Atlantic Records by NBA YoungBoy and a whole bunch of guys. That just happened. My daughter has a scar across her back about this long from the scuffle from the mic.
What was that like, fuck, niggas beat on her too?
I was terrified. I thought I was going to my life. It happened so quickly. It happened so quickly. Like, looking up into the eye, we had just got to the studio and they all just started arguing and fighting. And next thing you know, we're getting jumped by so many guys. And I'm trying to shield and protect Melly. And the guys are not trying to hit me, but I'm literally trying to lay on top of him just to guard him. And
when was this? How soon before the shooting was this?
I think this was in August of 2018. August.
About a month or so.
I'm surprised Trevor Ross ain't put this on a documentary. Oh shit!
Yeah, his chain.
I don't know how he let that slide under his radar.
What started that?
We were outside and we were pulling up to the studio and his friend, Riley's mom, Zach was like, they're going NBA YoungBoy, so we all oh yeah, that is NBA YoungBoy. So we I feel like we're going to get school. So I'm just praying, God, please don't let us get into these people. I hope not. So as we walk into the studio, he give Melly a look, he sighs, and so Zach what's up, you straight or whatever, and he was like, yeah, I'm good or whatever, then he just started saying stuff, and then Zach ended up saying something back to
That's
him.
the same story Zach Chaser
Melly
gave.
was like, what's up? And he swung on Melly, they fought, and then the guys started jumping in, everybody just...
Roofers are furious about this new product that's going viral. Replace your whole roof in as little as 8 hours.
So after them boys just fought with Melly, they trying to say that Melly killed him. That'd be foul, yo, if that's the case, man. Because they obviously was down for Shorty. Now, I don't know if they was doing backhanded shit on the slide. But I still don't. I ain't with friends killing friends. Under really no circumstances, for real. That's a simple fight or a cutoff. Shouldn't nobody have to lose their life when you're dealing with day one homeboys. Even though it happens often, I just don't respect it. My personal opinion.
Jumping to like guard him. It was just a big scuffle, honestly. Like
The majority of the majority of the murders are done by people that you know.
No.
That's why if you ever move to a neighborhood new, don't get cool with nobody. People don't try people they don't know, y'all.
No, it was just like
Once they get to know you, that's when they start trying you.
and that was it. Like Melly chain fell, they took it and ran out the studio and left, and that was it. Honestly.
I'm surprised nobody run a story about that. NBA YoungBoy took Ynw Melly chain.
I have two quick questions. First one was, there was a lot made about YNW Melly's relationship with his mom and the way he spoke to her. Mariah, what can you tell us about that?
Nothing.
Him and his mom relationship, he loved his mom. His mom is a crazy lady though. She's crazy. But he loves her. She just always tried to come, like he just wanted her to be a mom. Like she's a mother, so of course she's gonna be on you about studio time, going to shows on time. She's gonna be on him regardless. And he didn't want her to do that. So they always, bumped heads a little bit when it came to that. But he loved his mom. She's a good mom. She wanted to be a manager, and he was like, "No, just be a mom. I don't want you to be a manager. Just be a mom."
I think that clashed with him and Omar that she wants to be more in the limelight. He wants her behind the limelight. Yeah, he doesn't want. He wants her to be like a grandma mom, instead of a hip mom kind of thing.
I have to ask you your thoughts on what prosecution says. Biggest piece of evidence: the "shh, I did that" message. Do you think YNW Melly wrote that?
I honestly don't believe so. When they was showing it, like from his Instagram, so many people had his Instagram password. I even had his Instagram password from time to times. Like everybody shared everything when it came to his phone, to his social media. I used to be on there. I used to respond back to females all the time. So it's like I don't know if
That was smart that she threw. That was smart that she threw that in there.
I used to respond.
That's gonna help out his next case a lot.
I don't
What did you say, Mariah?
She better not answer that. You see what I'm saying? That was prosecutorial shit. So if she's lying, if they go back through the messages and they don't see her, if they don't see she responded with what she's about to say, then I just threw her whole case out, and everything I just congratulated her for is irrelevant. But why did he need it? Why did he ask her that? Unless he's doing prosecution work. There's no reason for him to ask her that.
I used to say a few things, but I'm a changed person now. So.
Yeah, that's good. She answered the right way.
What do you think about the message?
She answered the right way.
I mean, I don't think he would even. I would hope, God forbid, if he did do it, which I hope he didn't. What sane person would text that kind of crap after doing all this so-called cover-up, the cover of a homicide? You're just gonna automatically just text out, "Shh, I did that to somebody." That's like confession. That's the confession 101. I don't think a sane person would do that. I don't think a person who did all this, she's saying he did to cover up this homicide, no fingerprints and no DNA and stuff, but you're going to just go confess to it later? I just think the state's reaching with that. I think they need to get better evidence.
She can't stand that prosecutor. She can't stand that lady. If she was to catch her in the dark ass, she probably hit her with a bat. I promise you. She don't like that lady at all.
Mariah, Felicia, thank you both so much for coming on and talking to me. I really appreciate it. Before I let you go, I know Christopher is going to come in real quick. He has a statement that he wants to make, but I just want to thank both of you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Pleasure to meet both of you. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
So Christopher, you're coming in here. I know you got there's one last thing that you wanted the viewers to know, correct?
Yes. Number one, thank you for allowing Mariah to get her story out, if you will. You want to call it a story. I think you've gotten all of the information that she would provide the prosecution with.
See, the lawyer was on it.
Lastly, I'd like to say that
they're going to use this as a testimony, y'all.
The prosecutor that has the power to change the situation, Mariah has indicated she's willing to come to court, to trial, to testify. She's not been avoiding that out of disrespect for the court. She's been avoiding that out of fear of arrest. I think
Because basically, yo, if she go to court with going to prison hovering over her head, she gonna be at the mercy of the prosecution. She's gonna be like a puppet. All I gotta do is threaten her.
Been made clear today. I tried to make that clear in our earlier interview regarding Ms. Holmes' testimony during trial. So, you know, again, the prosecutor has the power to change the situation. She can go to the judge ex parte, like she did when she obtained the arrest order, and she can ask the judge to withdraw the arrest order for Mariah. Simple as that, and I think that you would find Mariah willing, ready, willing, able to make it to court, to give her input, her...
Yo, where she get that lawyer from, man?
...in this case.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Wishing you guys the best of luck. Thank you again for coming here on Law and Crime.
Yeah, y'all, I truly believe that she probably did say whatever they wanted her to say, cause she thought she was gonna go to jail. I don't really think, even still, I don't think her testimony offers too much to the prosecution, for real, unless it's something else. But from what you said in the beginning, I don't think that's make or break. I think they still gonna have a loose case. You know what I mean? And shit, we'll see, y'all. I doubt if they lift that hold they got on far as jail over their head. I doubt if they lift it. But that would be the smart thing to do. That would be the smart thing to do if they actually want her to go to court and testify. Cause like I say, yo, with that over her head, yo, she gonna be like a puppet on strings, and she's gonna tell them people everything they want to hear, and it ain't gonna look good for Melly. Straight up, it ain't gonna look good, y'all. But yeah, I'm ready to roll it. 10:20. Yeah, I'm ready to get up out of here, man. I probably got some more content coming out tomorrow. I think we're going back to Florida. Y'all been a lot of stuff going on in Florida lately. Wild story, y'all. I ain't seen nobody cover it. Think I'm gonna do that tomorrow, y'all. But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, y'all. Share this video. It's Keep It G News live. You know what I mean? And I'm out.